Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Dan Davidson. I'm the CEO of Business Star Makers. So in this video, I want to talk to you about the difference between the focus of a manager versus the focus of an executive business leader. In terms of focus versus focus. Now, in management, we want everything to go smoothly. We want everything to operationally go smooth. We want everyone to do their job nicely. Step by step, operational steps have to go nicely, and everyone does their job exactly as per procedure protocol. That's our general goal, and that's what managers try to make sure happens. Whereas, as an executive business leader, the goal is not only for that to happen, but the real purpose is for that to happen, and the end result is for the profitability to take place. So the final end result is the profitability, really. So the focus is more on the profitability, meaning the end result, than it is for the operational process. In other words, that management process could go on for an eternity. But if the final outcome, which is the result, which the executive is looking for, does not come about, all that process is just a waste of time, money, energy, and a whole lot of resources. So in reality, what it is that we are looking for as management of a company or leaders of a company is operations with results, operations with profit, not just operations. And so as managers, meaning even mid-level managers, we always have to think, if I'm managing and I'm not an executive yet, I'm always cognizant, I should be always cognizant of saying, okay, team, we should focus on what am I doing this for? Even whatever it is I'm doing, what am I doing it for? So how does it fit into my end purpose? And keeping that in mind in some way would help that individual know how they are benefiting the real outcome of the company's final result or success. It really gives a purpose to the person knowing that what I'm doing is really helping the success of the company. It's not fruitless. I'm not just going through motions and I'm not really adding any value. When I know that what I'm doing, even though it seems to be a very routine kind of an ongoing process, it's actually so fruitful because it's at the end contributing in a massive way to the end result of the benefit profit of the company. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It's not really the operations and how smooth it's running alone. It's how is that operation at the end result leading to profitability. Even at a mid-level of management, which I call like the second floor of the company. Even at that level, not even the third or the fourth, but even at that level, at the second level floor, managing just the first floor or the second level floor, you gotta always take in mind, you gotta know, hey, I'm doing all this, I'm running these guys, managing the second floor, managing even the first floor, but here's what I'm doing, and that this is how it fits into this whole picture. And as executives, as managers of the fourth, third floor, managing those guys and teaching those guys, it's important that we give them that full 360-degree view of the entire operation and the company so that they understand where they fit in this whole puzzle. So they understand what they're really doing in this whole puzzle. So they can help their team understand where they fit in this whole puzzle. So they don't feel like, okay, all I'm doing is just taking this thing and putting it in the envelope and mailing it. I used to work for Prudential Insurance when I was a high school kid. And all I was doing was just, filling out envelopes, just putting things in an envelope, signing or filling out the envelope, um, the back of it, addressing it to certain people and just mailing it. It was the most boring job I ever had. Basically, I was mailing things to people. I had no idea what I was mailing. I had no idea who I was mailing it to for what reason. I had no idea. Nobody explained to me what I was doing. For literally, I think I worked there for 6, 7, 8 months. I have no idea, like 8 months or 9 months. I was driving there every day of the week, stuffing envelopes, and they just got mailed out. No idea. I never knew what purpose they served, those documents or papers that went out. Nobody explained to me. So I was too young to understand, and nobody bothered to explain, and how it all even fit into the whole big picture. So, and I never knew how it actually benefited the company whatsoever. I mean, at that point, I would have loved to, but I didn't, and that was just that. The point of it is, it would have been nice. I'm sure now they're doing that, but in the old style, it was just like, it's just like, okay, just stuff the envelopes, mail it out, and that's it. So that was my level of understanding of what I was doing. So, when you know how you fit into this whole structure, you would be, first of all, you would feel like, hey, I'm contributing, I'm part of this whole picture. Secondly, you'd want to contribute more. Hey, I can do more than this. I can contribute more. I can be a bigger part of this organization. And it would entice you to want to be a bigger part of the organization. It would entice you to want to grow within the organization. And then you have an opportunity to have great leaders come from your own organization. There is nothing better than having fantastic leaders coming from your own organization instead of having to constantly put an ad and recruit people from outside. If you can get your first floor people come to the second floor, and have your second floor people come to the third floor, and your third floor people come to the fourth floor, they are growing within your organization. They're organically growing from your own organization, and they're devoted, they're committed, they love what they do, they love you, they love the purpose of the organization, what your organization is about, the message, everything about you. They're basically sold on you. Why would you want to go and hire somebody outside for the fourth floor who has no clue about you whatsoever? Where you get somebody on the second floor who used to work on the first floor and loves you guys, you enough, that has worked for you for 10 years and gotten himself to the second floor. And now is on the third floor. And he could be promoted the fourth floor. Now you go hire somebody from for the fourth floor from outside. Why not work on the guy on the third floor and bring him up to the fourth floor? Remember I had a talk about, in one of my, I guess I've talked about it, attitude and aptitude. I talked about the aptitude and attitude. Maybe the guy on the third floor has the attitude, aptitude, right? And the attitude. Maybe he doesn't have the aptitude, but he has the attitude. Well, he definitely has the attitude. Otherwise, he wouldn't have survived first, second, and third floors. That means probably several years he's been with you, that has gone from the first floor, second floor, third floor. So he definitely has the attitude. Maybe for the fourth floor, the guy may not have the aptitude yet. Well, that's what you do. You bring him up to the fourth floor and give him the training, and maybe hopefully you groom him. But you bring somebody from the outside, they may not really have that passion that you want for your own organization and the vision of your company and what it's about, that you need as a for a leader, to really care and love your company and what it's about, and be committed to it, and want to forward it like a army, like we said, and that's really what's going to make and break an organization, that commitment. And that's a very, very important thing, is commitment. Devotion and commitment within an organization. When going gets tough, those guys that are committed are the ones that are going to push through. And those guys that are just there for a paycheck, they're the ones who are going to bail first. Why? Because when somebody's got a resume and they put you on their resume, guess what? They already got the maximum benefit from your existence that they can get. Another 3 months, 4 months is not going to really add much. In fact, they go get a job, they're going to get a raise anyway, just because they have you on their resume. So for them to go through hardship because of you makes no sense. They'll bail and get a raise. Why should they go through hardship for you? They won't. The only reason somebody would go through hardship is if they're devoted and care about you. That's it. They're devoted and care about you. And the only reason why they would be devoted and they care about you is if they care about your vision. Nobody cares about me. They care about your vision and what you stand for and what you represent. If what you stand for and what you represent is bigger than you, and it is something positive, and it represents something that really they can be proud of, yes, they'll stand there and they tolerate whatever it is and they push through. If it is not, they'll bail. Simple. So if you got somebody from the 3rd floor who you promote the 4th floor, and then all of a sudden you get the financial hardship of the organization, they'll stand for you. They'll do whatever it takes to make you, push through that hardship and see the other side. That devotion, that commitment exists within those guys. They'll figure it out. Hey, I've worked 10 hours, so I'm going to stay here till I figure this out. Honey, we can't go on a vacation. My company's having trouble. I got to stay. That's what it takes. There's no 8 hours because we're having trouble. My company's having problems. I'm staying till I figure this out. That's what you need. So who's going to give you that? Somebody who really loves the company, not their 8-hour job. This is not a job. It's a commitment. So in order to get a commitment from someone, they got to love the company and what it stands for and the mission and the vision. That vision and the mission and that commitment is going to give them the reason to stick with it. Otherwise, the paycheck is bigger on the other side. That paycheck is not going to be the reason why they're going to stick with you. So don't try to keep somebody by this. Ain't going to work. You can't buy people. That ain't going to work. Okay, taking them to the bar and restaurants and pleasing them. That ain't going to work. You got to be offering someone something here to keep them around. And if you don't, all the money in the world, they ain't got to keep them around. It's my experience. That's the thing. The other thing is, as the leader of the organization, they screw up, it's your neck. So if you give them too much authority and they screw up, it's your neck. That's the challenge. Because you're the only one who stays. You're the only one that stands. You ultimately at the end. You are the only one. So, but those people who love you are also going to stand. And they'll be the last ones that will bail. Even if you're not paying them. The last ones that will bail, with or without a paycheck, are those guys that love the organization, its purpose, and this vision, and you. It's like that ship is going down. You're the captain, you say, I'm going with it. These guys are saying, okay, I'll go with you, captain. Those guys are going to be the last ones that are going to jump off. with you, you know. So those guys are really worth their weight in gold, in diamond, in, I don't know, whatever most valuable you can imagine. So you gotta really honor those guys. And they're very hard to find. Trust me, I know. So when you find them, keep them if you can find them.